Good afternoon, Silaholics and Incredibles. I am Shakia, the professor, and in this video, we are going to go through the settings for Macs. I did a run through when I set up my husband's iMac computer with the Silhouette, and so at the end of that, I did have settings for the Macs, but I never had a dedicated video just for Mac settings the way that I did the ones for PCs. So that's what I'm going to go through in this video are my recommended settings, which always produce great settings. When I did my mother's printer and I set her whole system up, I used these settings. The colors came out amazing. So I'm going to go through all of these settings with you guys. You can use these settings if you are using, any sort of paper and ink, but these are the best settings when using, honestly speaking, sublimation paper and ink to minimize the amount of ink that you're using. As you know, or if you don't know, with our paper, it doesn't require premium matte and a lot of ink. Just using the plain paper setting, you're going to get bright, vibrant colors with the way that our paper is engineered to release that, to fully release that ink. And you're going to get that as low as 365 degrees and as fast as 30 seconds. If you don't know about our paper, be sure to check out our website, shop.silaholics.com, for information on our sublimation paper. Okay. So let's go ahead and jump into this, and we're going to go through setting up the Epson printers. I'm going to be setting up for, you're going to see me go in and add an Epson 7720, but the same steps will apply even if you're adding an Epson, like any Epson 7820, 7840, 7310, any of the EcoTanks 15,000, 8550, all of those printers will have the same settings and pretty much the same steps to set it up. First thing first is going to be for you to download and install your drivers. You have to do that in order to have access to all of these settings, okay? All right, so we're going to go over. I have to use my phone as well to kind of switch between screens here. So just give me a moment to get to the right screen. All right, there we go. So I am on Google, and you're going to type in Epson, whatever printer you have. So whatever your model number is, you're going to put that in. So for me, it's going to be Epson 7720 drivers. And you're going to go to that website. Now, I already have an Epson 7720 attached to this particular computer, so I don't think I have to do the drivers again. We'll see once I add it, because I don't have my sub printer added to this particular computer. So I'm going to set all of that up. All right, but you will come here and you can do the full on driver and utility combo, or you can go down to the drivers and you can do just the driver and the scan utility. Because if you're not going to use the fax and, well, it's for copy too, but if you're not going to use the fax, you're going to have to do like the copy one. So all you would really need is the printer driver and the scanner. If you don't plan to do remote printing, because with all Epson printers, you can e-print. Basically what that means is you can send, and like your printer has its own email address. So as long as it's attached, of course, to Wi-Fi, you send an email to it with your file and it will print out that file. So that's what your remote print driver is for. If you don't plan to use that, you don't have to worry about it. But if you want all the features, just install the driver and utilities combo. All right, you're going to go to, well, let's first go to up here, and you're going to choose, of course, it's going to normally detect which one you have. So if that's not the one that you have, it didn't detect it correctly, just go through the list, find which operating system you are working on, and then hit download. Like I said, I have already gone through this with our other printer because we have more than one 7720. You only have to install the drivers once. So now I'm going to go over to Silhouette Studio just as soon as I can get that bottom part to come up. Come on, Mac. Oh, there we go. So I'm going to go to Silhouette Studio, but you would do these same steps no matter what printer, which program you are using. You would just go to your print settings. You can also just go to the settings and go to printers and scanners, and you're going to get the same exact option. So that is also, if you don't want to kind of go into a program, if you just go to your system preferences, will this come up? Okay, it doesn't want to come up. Okay, there we go. And then, well, it already kind of came up for me. You'll go to the list for printers and scanners. I need to add this printer to this setup. So what I'm going to do is go to the plus sign. So we're going to go plus, and you're going to look for the printer that you want to add. So it's for me, it's the one right here. So we're going to click on that. I'm going to also post some screenshots so that you guys can see this a little bit bigger. So I'm going to go there, and then right here where it says use, right now it says secure AirPrint. You're going to click on that, and once you install the drivers, you will see the option for your printer. So you're going to click on where it says, oh, come on. You're going to click on where it says Epson 7720. So I'm going to just put that on the screen real quick there. So you're going to choose Epson 7720. Do not use Secure AirPrint or AirPrint. You're not going to get all of the available options. All right. And then we're going to add that printer. So now that one is here. Okay. I'm going to go to options and supplies. So options and supplies, which I thought I had that on here, but maybe I don't. I thought I had that, but we're going to go to options and supplies. Right here, it says use generic features. So we're going to click there. Also here, if you have multiple printers, or I saw someone have this on theirs, you want to make sure that your family doesn't print to your Sublimation printer. This is where you would change the name right here. So you can put whatever you want that to be there. I'm going to go ahead and change this to Epson Workforce 7720 Sublimation. So I know that's my Sublimation printer. All right, but we want to go to use generic settings. And you're going to, of course, change the name that's highlighted right now on the screen. You see it says main desk. You're going to change that to whatever you want it to be. The next thing that you're going to do after you hit, well, we're not going to hit OK. We're going to come up here to options. So under options, it's a few settings that you're going to make sure that you have selected. Okay. Where it says thick paper and envelope, you want to have that on. Quiet mode, you want that on. High-speed printing, it really doesn't matter if it is on or off. In the way that the settings that I use, and because we use quiet mode, it really doesn't matter. So you can turn that on or off. I find that it doesn't really affect the print settings too much, only because it's on my PC. I'm just going to do a comparison. I'll have another video where I'm going to print them out, and I'll show you like it really isn't a big difference. So just for these purposes, I'm going to choose off, but it doesn't matter what you have there. Everything else can pretty much stay to default. Output document for filing, remove white borders. I normally leave that off because we're not going to do borderless printing. Warning notifications, I always have mine on. Established bi-directional communication. That's when I just default that and leave it on. The most important ones are thick paper and envelope, quiet mode, and then your high speed is not that important. It can be on or off, okay? So now I'm going to hit OK for that. And this is now technically set up, pretty much ready to go, all right? I'm going to go into Silhouette Studio so that we can set some of the print settings. So I'm going to go over to Silhouette Studio. If you ever need to, which I didn't do a slide for this, well, next time I do one for like the roll paper from a Mac, I'll have the slides for it. But when you're here, if you ever want to change your print size or print your paper size, which technically I do probably need to do it because I don't think it has that standard border. So I'm going to go to File. We're going to go to Print Page Setup. And right here where it says paper size, we're going to click on that and we're going to go to Manage Custom Sizes. And I'm going to just go to New, and it makes the border 0.25. With the Epson 7720 printers, you can actually get away with, you know, just point the standard. You know what I've never done? And the bottom of this is really, really big. I've never done it on the Mac, but I actually want to see something. So I'm going to cancel this. I want to see if that changes. If we go to print page setup, this is the other way to get back to the preferences. I'm going to go to printer scanners and preferences. Under sublimation, we're going to go to options and supplies. And let's see if it does change our margins if we do remove white borders. So I'm going to change that to on. I don't know how that will affect it, especially with print and cut. I've never done that, but this is just sublimation. Well, I guess I would do print and cut if I'm subbing to glitter, but we're going to see because I've never done that, like turn the white borders off before. So I want to kind of see what that's going to look like when it comes to the paper size. So I'm going to go to Manage Custom Size, and we're going to add a new. Yeah, it still gave me the same thing. So you're going to have like your bottom inset, your bottom margin right now, it's at 0.56. You definitely want to change those if you want to take full advantage of your paper size, no matter what it is. So you may end up needing to make custom sizes. To do that, well, custom settings, I come here and I normally just put 0.125 and it defaults to 0.12. So let's go on his numbers pad, 0.12, 0.12, 0.12. And then for title of this, I'm just going to put, oh, come on, 8.5 by 11 sub paper, because you want to take full advantage of the print margins and like the small print margins that Epson allows. So we're just going to hit, well, we can hit OK on that, but I believe we can just kind of set up all of them now, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, no. Okay, wait. So I need to go and actually need to save that. So let's go here and go 8.5 by 11 sub paper. And I'm going to hit OK. See, I didn't want it to go out. I was trying to save more than one at a time. So let's go Manage Custom Settings again. And I'm just going to go to this one, and we're going to make this 8 by, it's so weird with the Mac, 8 by 14. I'm going to tab, and we're going to go, let me see, non-printable area. Let's see. Oh, look. I think if you hit this, it might, haha, there you go. So you just have to choose the Epson printer, and it makes it where it gives you that size. So that was pretty cool for that one. But I'm going to come here. It gave me 13 by 47.25. We don't want that. So we're going to go 8.5 by 14. And we're going to name this. So either way it goes, you still have to put it in. 8.5. Oh, come on. 8.5 by 14 sub paper. And then I'm going to hit OK. I'm going to have to go in again for all of the other ones. So I might as well just set them all up now. So manage custom size, and we're going to go new. Epson Sublimation. And we're going to go here and go 11 by 17. $11 by 17 sub paper. And then of course 13 by 19. So I'm gonna just do it one more time. And then if you're doing the rolls, it's a little bit different for that. You may not have to go through all of this. Again, I always just notice that the print margins are off. I don't normally print from a Mac, so I'm not sure if it probably would have or would not have affected the way that it prints, and being able to go all the way to the Epson print margin of 0.125. But I'm just going to go through this because I'm looking at the print margin and it's telling me something different. You may not have to go through all of this. If you have a Mac, you'll probably know more on that than, a non-Mac user. I am definitely a Windows PC gal. So we're going to just double click here. 13 by 19 should go HS ink sub paper, because you should not be using anything other than HS ink sublimation paper. All right, and we're going to go ahead and hit OK on that. So now I have all of my settings set up, right? So we're going to go over to File and then Print. So here, you're going to first make sure that you do choose the printer that you are going to be printing from. So I'm going to go to the 7720 because we're talking about sub settings here. Definitely don't need this to be 50. We're just going to take that down to 1. First things first, I'm going to go to is going to be color matching. All right, so we're going to scroll. Oh, wait a minute. Didn't mean to move you up. We're going to go to color matching. And for this, I normally just leave it on Epson color controls. I don't do the color sync. I just do Epson color controls. The next one that we're going to go to is going to be paper handling. Now, normally, like with the next set of settings, when you once you set them, if you ever go back and kind of check this, it will switch. I find that like on my mom's printer, on her laptop, it did switch. It should not affect it at all. One thing that I want to note on here is where it says scale to fit to page, please make sure that you guys uncheck that. So uncheck scale to fit to page. Now, if you ever have to change that destination paper size, so let's say you go to print and you check it and it's not correct, you will then click on scale to fit paper size, click on the drop down, and then choose the paper that you want to print to if it doesn't change. But normally it does change, but you don't want scale to fit because it will change the size of your print. All right. So next thing we're going to go to is your printer features. So printer features. All right. Once you go here, what you're going to see is this screen. So we're not going to worry about anything at the top just yet. For page setup, standard. Paper size, letter. Paper source. If you have a printer that has multiple trays and you want it to print from a specific tray, usually my 8.5 by 11, my 8.5 by 14, and my Sublimation paper rolls, I print from tray 1. So I'll automatically have them set to go there. So it's not even going to think about it for coming from like any of the other trays. So you can go to select paper source and change that to cassette 1. If you leave it on auto, it'll just kind of pick up depending on what settings are on the printer. But I normally have like my 8.5 by 11, 8.5 by 14, all of those like in my rolls set to cassette 1, 11 by 17, 13 by 19 set to cassette 2. I personally don't use my rear feed. Media type, you're going to change that to plain paper bright white, which you should see on your screen right now. I'm going to come off of this because mine is the default for mine. You can't really see it, but it's showing premium presentation paper matte. We're going to go up to plain paper bright white, or plain paper bright white paper. All right. And then for print quality, it's going to be quality. So I'm going to turn that back on for you guys so you can see that. So for print quality, that's going to go from normal to quality. I don't recommend best quality. I use it on my mom's computer and it put these weird lines on it. So you would think that it would give you the best because it's the highest quality. It actually did not work out well at all. So do not use best quality. Leave it on quality. Of course, if you're doing a standard sublimation print, you want your mirror on. If you are someone that's going to do print and cuts, so that you can cut it on your Cameo or, your Cricut to do sublimation to glitter or easy subli and things like that. You do not want to mirror your prints. You want to leave that as no mirror, like do not mirror, and you want to flip it horizontally in your design, not in your print settings, because you're going to also flip your registration area and it's going to cut incorrectly. So make sure that you do not mirror if you're doing an actual print and cut on a cutting machine. All right, so we're going to scroll up. All right, so where it says color settings, make sure I have the right one. Yes, so manual settings, mode, Adobe RGB, your gamma is going to be 1.8, and that's all you have to worry about there. I don't mess with the brightness, the contrast, the saturation, any of the colors, okay? The next section that we're going to go to is going to be where it says scene correction, which I think I went too far. Yep, so that stays autocorrect, sharpen, that stays off, sharpen option standard. We don't touch any of that. Vendor color matching, use generic RGB is on. I leave that. Custom color matching profile. I personally do not use any type of profiles because I don't need it on Windows. That's the one thing with Macs. They do allow you to put in custom profiles, even if you're printing from Silhouette Studio. With Windows, you cannot do that. But from Macs, you can. But I don't use any color matching profile. And then red eye, don't worry about any of that. Let's go to the next set of settings. Borderless is definitely off. Two-sided printing, off. Your print density. Here's where you will have to know where to move this around to, as well as your increased ink drying time. Some printers still put out like a lot of ink. With our paper, it's not meant to hold a lot of ink because it's not needed. It has great release. So you want to minimize the amount of ink that you put down. Max defaults to -20. Epson's default, Windows is like 0. So we normally take ours down to -10, -15, things like that. You can start off at -20. if you find that you're still getting an excessive amount, you're going to still, eventually you will still get pinwheel or pizza wheels, as most people call them. You'll still get those lines over time just from buildup. But if it is an excessive amount, so where even after you clean your rollers, you're getting them like immediately and you're getting that buildup, you may want to look into playing around and just doing some test prints to change your print density and take that to -25, -30, or leave it there and play around with your drying time and changing that setting. I couldn't tell you as far as like how they really affect it because, again, I don't really use a Mac that much, but they have these options for you. Windows does not have these options in the print settings for you as far as increasing your drying time. That's something that's only on the printer itself. And then for print density, ours defaults at 0. So I'm not sure why Macs default at -20. So duplex printing, all of those things you want to have, duplex, none, adjustments off, Epson profile, none, color mode, RGB. And then where it says media type, I normally just go in there. It doesn't really affect it too much, but I just go in there and just make it match. So I just go in and put plain paper bright white because that's the setting that we're using. Resolution stays exactly as it is. Once you do that, and this is the part I just realized I forgot to take screenshots of. So hopefully you can, from your Mac, you'll understand what I'm doing. We're going to go up here to presets. You're going to click on the drop down and you're going to go to save current setting as a preset. And we're going to make this 8.5 by 11 sublimation, which I think I already did this when I did the other one. So you can have this on all your printers or just this one. If you only have one sublimation printer, then it would just be only on this printer that you're going to do those settings for, just on this printer. If you have more than one, you want to do all printers. That way you don't have to redo those settings. So we're just going to go here and click OK, which I now have 2. There's one. Oh, come on. Just go to the drop down because there's one here. Oh, no, it did change it. So it overrode it, but it didn't tell me that it did. Perfect. All right. So now I'm going to just go back up to the top. And all I'm going to do is click where it says paper size and go to US legal. That's your 8.5 by 14. I'm not going to change anything else. We're going to go to the drop down, save current settings as a preset. And we're going to click at the end, delete the 1, come over here to the 8.5 by 11, make that 14, only on this printer. We're going to hit OK. And then we're going to click where it says paper source again. I'm going to go to tabloid. This time I'm going to make it cassette 2. If you have a printer that does not have 2 cassettes or 2 paper trays, this won't apply to you. You'll just leave it to auto. Or you can set it where it comes from the tray instead of going to the rear feed. You can set that if you're using your rear feed on yours because you have a tray and a rear feed, you can set where it prints from. Otherwise, just leave it at auto. So that's the only thing I'm changing on this. Again, we're going to go to the drop down. We're going to make this, so save current as a preset. And I'm going to take off the 1 and the dash, come over here to 8.5 by 14 and make that 11 by 17 sublimation and then hit OK. Last one, we're going to go to Super B 13. Oh, come on. Super B 13 by 19. Nothing else changes. Just come up to the top and save current as a preset. Take away that 1 and that dash. Come over here and highlight it. Make that 13 by 19. only on this printer, hit OK. Now, if you are doing print and cuts, you would go back through these settings and change your mirror to off, go to your presets, go to, and it changed it. So I have to come back down here because I clicked on it. So I have to come back over here, change this to off, go up here and make sure I'm on the drop down and come down. Come on. All right, let's try this again. Off. I'm going to come up here, scroll down to save current as a preset. And for this, you would put, like you can put PNC for print and cut, put for print and cut, print, you know, whatever you need for you to know that that is whenever you're doing a print and cut on your sublimation paper. So I'm just going to go P, capital P, N, C. So for print and cut. And okay. And you would do the same thing for all the other ones. So you would go up here to your, I'm not going to go through all of them. I'm just going to go to maybe like 8.5 by 14. So we're going to go here. We're going to change this to off and then come to our drop down, go to save current as preset and take away the one in the dash and go print and cut. And that's it. That is how you set up your settings. So I'm going to hit cancel for now. I'm just going to come over here. This is set up for something different. We're going to go to machine and go to none. We're going to go to where it says paper width, and I'm going to go 11 tab 17 and then enter. So as you'll see, my page width is incorrect right now. I'm going to go to, now if you want to see, so you have show print border. If you want to change your print border to see it, how it should print out, you can go to file, print page setup. Remember, we set up all those papers. Right now, we're set to 13 by 19. Oh, that's another important thing. Make sure, you know, you're on the right one for landscape and portrait. But I'm going to go to 11 by 17. Oh, wait a minute. Come on. Why are you not showing 11 by 17? That's so weird. Why are you not showing me 11 by 17? To just choose that one. So manage custom size. I shouldn't have to go through here. That's kind of weird. So we're just going to hit OK. That's kind of weird because normally you should just be able to click on the drop down and choose it. Not sure why it's not allowing me to, but hey, we just go there, choose 11 by 17, and then hit OK. And we should see our paper jump, which I don't understand why it's not. Oh, wait, you know what? Let me go back. I think it was on landscape. So print page setup. Yes, it was. So we're going to go to portrait and hit OK. And why are you not switching? Let's see. Normally it switches. So at least see on that one it did. I went to a new page and now you can see. Well, you guys probably can't see too much, but it moved. So if I go back over, I'm going to zoom into this one. If I can get any closer. And you can see the border comes way down here. If I go to this one, for some reason, oh, now it wants to switch. It switched now. Once I open up a new page, then it switched because at first it did not. But this will allow you to see where your print border is. So that way when you are scaling, you won't be outside of your print margin. Oh, no, there it is. See, it moved. Now I'm back on the first one and it did not jump. I have no idea why it did not adjust for this one. But if you go to print, it should, once you go to your print settings, it should still show correctly. All right, but that is how you set up your print settings for a Mac. I'm showing it from Select Studio, but if you're using a program like Cricut Design Space, once you go to Cricut and you go to print settings, you need to click that that slider that says use, oh gosh, what does it say? Use print dialog. Once you do that, the setup screen is going to be behind that. So move it out of the way. And then that will take you to all of these settings. You can set your preset, choose what settings and all that kind of good jazz. If you're for some reason printing from Word, you would just click where it says, I think it's like see more settings. If you're printing from Photoshop, you just go to print settings or print options, whatever shows up there. But you should see all of your print settings and be able to use these same ones no matter what program you are printing from. Okay. So Daryl Banks, the video is on our channel. So just go to Honestly Speaking's YouTube channel and search in updated sublimation settings, and you will see the settings for PCs. I'm not going over Windows settings in this particular video. I already have that in a very detailed video just like this with the screenshots and everything. So go check out that video. All right, but hopefully this, I don't want this one to be, too extended with answering a lot of questions. If you have additional questions, go ahead and just drop them in the comment section below, and I will do my best to get them answered in a timely manner. Don't forget to visit our website, shop.silaholics.com. That is where you can find our sublimation ink, our sublimation paper, our chip resetters, cartridges, syringes, needles, templates, all sorts of good jazz, all things that you need for sublimation, except of course blanks, but we may or may not get some of those soon too. But all that's available on our website, shop.silaholics.com. All right, guys, until next time, have a great one. Continue to unlock your creativity and be incredible. Peace.